Welcome to our presentation today. My name is Buddy Thornton, and I am the creator of the 7 Steps to Dynamic Moral Reasoning, a primer that goes with my Book 1 and Book 2 on ethics and morals. Before we begin the journey through, I want you to understand that everyone is working through the world with a moral worldview perspective. There are choice matrices to take into consideration, and they must all include universal positive regard, no blaming, shaming, or judging, and other factors that you see on the screen. It is very important that you do a self-examination to understand your moral worldview before you continue going through these slides, because how your worldview works is how you will work your way through these steps. As Einstein said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use to create them. One of the reasons this is such a powerful quote is because everyone seems to think that if I just tweak it here and I just tweak it there, I can get through the day. When in reality, you don't want to change your goal, but you may want to change the methodology by which you get there. So if you keep on coming up with problems, maybe you need to alter your thinking and not worry about other people or other things that interfere with your thinking. The first thing you want to do is identify the problem. These are 7 very important steps. We're going to focus on 1. What roles do others play in my dilemma? Well, for one, if someone is giving you an expectation curve and you are trying to meet their expectations instead of satisfying your own, that can create a problem in itself. Identify that problem and work your way through it. Gather information is the second step. These are 7 different areas where you can gather information. And when you work your way through these questions, like have you considered alternate paths to an outcome, it makes you put everything out on the table and consider not only your perspective, but the perspective of others. Once you've got all the alternatives out on the table, step 3 is to identify which ones are viable and which ones you can discard. And as you work through this matrix, it's very important that you consider the law of unintended consequences and how something can go bad despite all of your best intentions. Once you're here, you get to weigh the relevance of your choices. Have you determined what is the best alternative to a negotiated agreement? Do you have a walkaway point? Have you reframed your potential choices against asymmetric data and power dynamics? Have you considered who may push back against what you decide to do? These are the confounds. This is what creates problems for you. As you start to make your choices, where does it create imbalances? How motivated are you to follow through? And what happens if something outside of your control interferes with your journey? Step 6 is you got to make the choice. You have to act on the choice, because making a choice to make a change is the first step, or you will never hope to change. These are your checkpoints. Step 7. This is where you go back and reflect, reframe, rinse, and repeat. Who has the right to dictate morality? Someone else? Nobody. Who must develop and adhere to a moral worldview? Everyone, because everyone has one inherently. Is one moral worldview more relevant than any other? No, you only have the right to design and work off of your moral worldview. You do not have the right to dictate or position a moral worldview for any other being. What is the most crucial factor within morals and behavior? Personal choice dynamics. If it is not you, it is no one. It's very important to base everything on being a principled human being. Aristotle back in the day called this eudaimonia, which is the ability to have a well-lived life. Men and women of principle do not ever lower their standards to satisfy their ego. They always have their eyes on the prize, a well-lived life, and they get to determine what well-lived means.